Okay, they go terrific. From the dome, exploring topics, they just turning these stones. So big in Germany that you would think they Germany's own. Daryl and Chris hold the reins, get them hooked, right? While Jerry and Topes and Ortez sips the bush light. Throwing a bet, the jokes fall from an innocent effect. They got Daryl cracking up in his tinfoil hat. Yeah, just a team, you know they ball like the Wolverines. They moving different when they drop you just like. Okay, terrific.
Welcome to another riveting episode of
Okay, terrific.
Okay, terrific. A show by a guy dressed in a dress, talking to a guy that's wearing a panda hat that also has wet, oily farts.
Happy Halloween weekend.
Happy Halloween, everybody. We are broadcasting from the past at this point. Right now, it is the 20th of October. And I don't know that I can get out of this dress that I'm in. So
we have to speak at future terms because this is going to air in a week. That's why I said Happy Halloween. It's not even close.
Yeah. Happy Halloween.
So you are wearing
a dress.
Cleopatra?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a pharaoh's outfit, but no, it's not going to work.
Maybe a pharaoh.
Good. That's good. I like that.
It looks snug.
Yeah. I've also gotten a lot fat.
No. You're still in pretty good shape here. Why did you get the schmedium?
Well,
or hang on.
This is for Tanya. This is
so.
Go ahead. Ask your questions.
That's not a men's size, is it?
No, it's a woman's medium. I will say that this is going to be the gayest thing I've said.
No, it's not. No fucking not. Way.
I will say that I could be one of those guys that is it called a tunic? You know, like a little
possibly,
you're in Aruba. You're walking down the thing. You got the little fucking thing around your waist.
We don't need to be in Aruba to wear them because people wear normal clothes there. It's a tourist island.
Yeah, but I would ingratiate myself into the cultures.
It's normal people wearing shorts and polos and shorts and graphic tees and sandals.
And I would have no shirt on and a tunic.
Tunic is literally what you're wearing. Yeah.
Yeah, so I could do that. I do think, and again, hashtag no homo. I do think that it's a little freeing wearing a little skirt every now and then. Okay, this is never gonna go anywhere because
that's you right now.
Yeah.
That's a Viking wool tunic.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Vikings wore them. Not gay.
The gay Vikings wore them.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So we never really just straight up record. Actually, did we? No. Every time that we did podcasting, we pushed it live.
Yeah, because you got weird about it. The one time we did record it, I think it was late and we were fucking zooted.
Yeah.
At that point, you're like, dude, I threw it out. I'm like, what do you mean? There was some funny shit in there. It was 2.5 hours long. There was 3 funny parts in there. I fucking deleted the thing, scrubbed it from the internet.
Yeah. Is that the one where I fell asleep or no?
No.
That was a 6-hour podcast. We did
hour and a half of content. We did 4.5 hours of Chris's basement. I remember when it all ended. I left. I hit the leave button, close my laptop, shut my shit down. It takes me 12 seconds to get upstairs into my living room, and my phone's fucking going off. And I'm like, he's gone. This isn't him. It's Kristen. Hey, you guys doing a show? I'm like, no, we're done. Are you sure? I'm like, yeah, we signed off. We're done. All of a sudden, I get all these fucking texts saying, why are we staying at Chris's basement? Is he coming back? And it was like, if you were to get up and leave right now, that was all it was.
Yeah.
You can hear a footstep or something upstairs. So then I was like, I'm texting you and you're fucking either sleeping or obliterated, possibly both.
No, I was obliterated and I was taking a hellish dump.
And I'm like, dude, your camera's still on. You're like, nah, shut everything off. I'm like, It's on right now. It is live. You're like, oh, you fucking hemmed and hawed about it. The best part was when you came back down and you're just like, I don't know what's going on. Your hands are moving, your face is like fucking Kristen screenshot about 9 or 10 of those.
Yeah.
They are the best things I have ever fucking
She did
seen.
good.
I have them all saved on my phone, and I just love using them from time to time.
You know,
you have no idea. You didn't know what button to push to end it.
No, I did not.
Normally, like, hey, all right, we did an hour and a half. I'm gonna go to the bar, and you're like fucking poof, and you're gone. Everything's off.
Yeah,
and you're fine. That night, you did not know what to do.
Yeah, we were
incredible.
We were a little drunk,
or a lot.
Yeah, so I was taking one of those dumps that you have a good one come out, and then it just keeps coming. It wouldn't stop. And you're texting me like, it's still alive. And then I tried to throttle back how loud and disgusting the dump was.
Yeah, I don't think you hear. I don't know. I might want to go back and listen.
Well, and what's funny is that's not even the podcast I'm talking about.
I know.
We did a podcast, and I was in my other room, and I remember turning the podcast off, and I went to go stand up, and I fell. I fell and I hit the wall.
Dude, that was January of this year that happened.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, mistakes were made. It's fine. I do have to ask you a question. I saw this.
I got one for you too.
Okay, go.
You go first. No, you go first, buddy.
Ladies first. Oh, ladies first. I'll go first.
Yeah. She's wearing a dress.
If I do want to go out after this, I don't know if I can literally get this off. Like I might actually throw my shoulder out. Like I might have to lethal weapon getting out of this straight jacket.
It's only 10 o'clock there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
This guy goes on this first date. Okay. And the girl, I'll read the headline to you.
I was wondering, I'm like, did you just make this up? Is this hypothetical? No. That was going to be a question I had until I heard your mouse click and I saw the reflection in the TV. I'm like,
and my forehead. Yeah.
Fuck, I missed that one. God damn it.
I know. I'll show you the article. I can't screen share.
I gotta go full screen so I can see everything.
All right.
Not that there's comments this time because
I can't show you anything because I guess we can't screen share when we record locally. So anyways, this guy ditches a first date and he takes her to this restaurant and he gets up and he ditches.
Did you send me this?
No.
I just saw this.
Well, maybe I did.
Whether you did or not, I think I just saw this. Like there's a Facebook page I think I follow. Used to be called Fuck Sensitivity, but they got in trouble for that name, so now it's called Duck. And I think this was just on there last night or today. But I think I think I'm right here.
So this dude, first date, and the girl's really pretty. She's looks either mixed or black, light-skinned, blonde hair, tight ass dress, tattoos on the right arm. My speed all day. The headline is, man skips out on paying tab after woman orders 48 oysters first date.
And she got stuck with it.
So a woman said a man asked her out on a first date just for drinks, but she ended up ordering and eating 48 oysters.
Okay, so I don't eat oysters or clams or anything like that. Is that a lot for one person, or is it normal? Because I think my wife and my dad do clams, and I know they can put like a bag of them away, but I have no idea how many's in a bag.
The most I've ever eaten in one sitting was probably in the 48 range. I think if you go, rumor has it, and I don't know what.
She's a little thick.
I wouldn't say my type, but I think
she's not ugly by any means.
It looks like she can give a mean BJ.
Yeah, and I don't think she's wearing a bra.
She's definitely wearing a bra.
That is,
She's definitely wearing a bra.
It's not a padded bra by any means.
No, not padded. She's
her turkeys are both about done.
She's fooling it out.
Is that a dress you wear on a first date?
If you're fucking.
Oh, okay, it's not a dress.
No,
it reminds me of that Ludacris.
wearing
So,
underwear. I dig it.
Body
I think
looks
she
like
great.
milk.
I think she looks great. First dates can be tricky, but one in Atlanta got downright slimy when a woman slurped down 48 oysters, racking up a massive tab. So in Atlanta, let's call it, for a dozen, it's probably 24 to 30 bucks.
So let's, for math's sake,
Nice.
let's round it to 30.
Okay. She did
for a dozen, so that's four times 30 is $120.
Right.
Okay.
I don't know if I'd be mad at it. I think at a certain point, if she knocked back 12 and said, I want more, I'd be like, fuck yeah, let's do that.
The
She
third
knocked back another 12.
The third sentence starts to tell the whole story.
Okay, so I haven't read any of this. Woman posted about a date at Fontaine's Oyster House on TikTok, saying the man asked her out on a first date just for drinks, but she ended up ordering and eating 4 dozen oysters. When the fourth platter of a dozen oysters came, he was looking at me crazy, Iquana Bennett said. After oysters and drinks, she ordered crab cakes and potatoes. This bitch was on a mission.
At that point,
$185 for the tab, and it sounds.
I was just going to their website to see what that costs. At that point, I'm starting to question things. If I'm going out on a first date,
yep,
I'm like, hey, you want to share an appetizer? I mean, fuck. Say we both go through 2 plates of oysters.
Sure.
I have no problem paying that tab. I have no problem picking up your drinks.
Yep.
I have no problem later at the night when she says, I'm not going to, I just, I'd like a water, wind down. Hey, do you want another appetizer before, we head out? Whatever. That's fine. She seemed in this case to, whoops, I had both headphones on. I couldn't hear fucking dick. To be taking control of the situation and being very liberal with her ordering.
Yes. So you can say liberal, but you can't say liberal arts.
Yeah, I can't believe I got that fucking word out, dude. Did you see me just kind of stop after I said it? I'm like, damn, just say that.
Yeah, and
getting with ordering shit and very nonchalant that this dude was okay with it, but like she said, after the 4th plate, he's like, "Are you just here for the free meal?"
I was going to bring that up. So like, it's a first date, and you don't know. I like to think that women are better than men. I like to think that. But there are some really vicious women out there too that, match up on whatever fucking app they're on, and then they go out and they're like, I'm just going to use this guy for the dinner. So she might have also been intolerable. To me, if I'm out on a date and I'm having a great time, I don't give a shit if she orders fucking her 9th sundae. I don't give a shit as long as we're having fun, But if she's
10th Sunday, she says, I would like this one to go, extra whipped cream. It's fucking time to go to the European dollar store.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yes. I don't know what that means, but yeah, I
you
get
don't?
It.
You know what the European, their money is measured in pounds.
Oh, Pound Town.
So Pound Town.
Yeah. Good for you. I didn't get that.
I know.
And I'm very British. Nothing.
Musically, you are.
Why did I sound fucking?
Oi.
Nice. Nice.
Wearing a tunic, you sound fucking Japanese. You say you're British. You're fucking 23 and me got confused.
I'm as confused sexually as I am continentally.
Wait. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have an 8th content that on the screen wearing a dress. Not ever did I mean, I know you said you were going to dress up for this episode. And I'm kind of pissed that I forgot about it.
You're good.
Because this show is in the past. Mm-hmm. But not only did I not expect you to dress up, but the fact that you wore your wife's costume.
Yeah, and it is toit. It is very toit. Yeah, so here's my thing. You're on a first date. To me, it seems like the date was not going well, and she also ordered like a piece of shit.
Yeah, and how, what point are the red flags coming out? I mean, as a dude, And this date was probably set up from a dating website, right?
Sure, probably. Let's yeah.
I mean, we got to assume that because nobody goes out to meet people at bars or
No one meets
restaurants or
anyone
park.
anymore.
Yeah. You do it. It's all
Just on
online.
their fucking phone swiping right anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So at some point, if you're doing this online shit and you're having a lot of dates, you'd almost have to have a plan set up that, hey, fourth drink, she orders 5, or all of a sudden she's drinking Bud Lights and starts moving to martinis and an old fashions that, hey, something's not right here. We're going out for drinks. Want to share an app? Okay, yeah. And she orders 5 fucking plates of oysters and then crab cakes and more shit to eat. At some point, the red flag's got to fucking pop up, right?
Yeah. So that's the thing I'm thinking too. Like, he asked her out for drinks, and this bitch goes ham and starts ordering everything on the menu. It's not drinks anymore.
No.
So maybe the drinks thing was the litmus test to see if she's, I'm not going to say worth taking to dinner, but you got to see if you like someone before you make such a big investment. But $200 for dinner, it's a lot of money. To some, I mean,
For some people, I mean, she came.
Would I be okay with spending $200 on dinner? For me and my wife, sure. But some fucking random chick, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, how many of those are you going to have before?
That's the thing too, you know. But I think the most oysters I've ever. So there's this place in Savannah on the waterfront, and
Riverfront.
Ooh, Riverfront.
I love it down there. Yeah,
Savannah's my favorite city,
so
probably
cool,
in the world.
But like 30 years ago, I want to go back.
Let's go. I'm all in.
Yeah,
it's a
no
great,
high-fiving.
No high five. Okay. I accept your terms. Whoop whoop. So there is a plaque to the people that have eaten the most.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And I can put back oysters. And at the time,
so are they literally the same size as like eating clams, right? Except for they're a different.
I think they're bigger than clams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, so do you chew oysters?
I do.
Or
Some
you
people, just no. I'm
like clams. I know they put like butter or hot sauce on them, and they just swallow them.
Yeah. So
I made that mistake.
This is my oyster move. Okay. You get a little tiny fork. Okay. And I do horseradish. I do the cocktail sauce. So I coat the horseradish in cocktail sauce. And then I pick up the oyster with the fork, and then I eat it and chew it all together.
What's the consistency like on an oyster? I've never had one. I probably never will. Because I chewed a clam once, and that's not what you're supposed to do. I was young. I was younger than 12.
For some reason, clams scare me because I heard of somebody that got a bad clam. I've never heard of anyone that had a bad oyster.
Okay.
So
bad clams happen, and I'm
sure, right?
Yeah.
With oysters too, but consistency, I would say, like a fatty piece of a steak epicenter,
like the grizzle.
No,
okay,
like more like direct fat, like not like kind of dissolves in your mouth a little bit, and then the outside of it is like a runny egg yolk, half cooked egg yolk.
So all right, so you have to put in work to chew this, or is it normal? Just kind of
easy. It's
like 5 chews and you swallow it.
It's like hard pudding, I guess. You know, for if you were to measure the total consistency for the whole thing, blended together, chewed up, it's probably like pudding with the film on top of it a little bit.
Oh, so relatively easy to get down. Like clams, you're just supposed to swallow.
Yeah,
you don't chew.
And I hate the fucking. You know me. I don't like slurping sound. You know, it's come on.
Yeah.
You know, but we're in this place, and for every 12 oysters you order, and at the time it was like $18, which is a pretty good deal. You also get a pitcher of beer. And so it's me, Tanya, and her parents, I believe. And then it hit happy hour, so it was like buy one get one free for $22. So you get them for $11 per dozen, and you still got the pitcher of beer. Oh. And I'll eat oysters until the fucking cows come home. I love them.
All right, so when you eat oysters,
whoopsie daisy.
So it's still running away with this in my head. My mouth couldn't keep up.
Yep.
When you eat oysters,
yes, sir.
Do you feel like they're an aphrodisiac?
I
Because there's allegedly, right?
Yeah, it's not like you eat them and you get horny, but you eat them and I think you get enough protein. You get a ton of protein from them, and they're not filling. And so sometimes if you eat too much, you're like, fucking would kind of be annoying at this point. You know what I mean? But oysters, like if you go eat 4 hamburgers, you're like, oh God, this is gonna be tough. Oysters, you get full up, you drink a lot. They're a little salty, so you drink a little bit more. So I think it kind of parlays together. I think it's.
I always thought they said that oysters were an aphrodisiac. So
yeah, the best thing I've ever had for let's grade it on boner turgidness, boner tensile strength. There's this type of sushi called it's a uni, which is eel, and it comes in a seaweed wrap like a cone, and then on top of that is a quail egg, like a raw quail egg, like a yolk. And that quail eggs, for some reason, have like 300% more protein. Is there a dick in there? No dick. They have like 300% more protein than like a regular egg. Okay. And again, it's not filling. So you have a couple of those. And for some reason, the Jolly Rogers full mast,
Okay.
Oysters, I wouldn't say that. But
I guess that's been the rumor or whatever for years that, you take a girl out, she orders oysters, it's time to go to Pound Town afterwards because she's going to be like all Spanish flied up. Sound like somebody fell down the stairs.
Unless she rolls up a fucking $185 tab and you're like, fuck this bitch.
Yeah.
I'm out. But yeah, so I order, I think 4 plates. I think I had 48 oysters by myself, and I eat oysters like 12 gone in less than a minute. Right.
Okay. So relatively easy to eat.
Fucking delicious.
Right. Okay.
So I think this has to be some sort of record, No, the record is from a woman, 12 dozen in one sitting.
That is 144, which is also called a gross.
A gaggle of yeah. She
gross.
12 dozen. Sorry, did I say 8 or 12? 12.
You said 12.
12 dozen oysters in one sitting. I was at 4, and I thought this has to be like, there's going to be balloons that fall from the ceiling. A little midget's going to come out.
Mariachi band,
Yeah. I thought they're going to like
a bunch of midgets wearing tunics are going to come out from somewhere. Little door in the wall.
They're going to sing my praises for years to come. Nope. I go
sniff it.
No, I go, and I was full. And I guess if you have too much, it can actually fuck up your Take 2. I guess if you have too much, it can fuck up your pancreas because it's like protein overload.
Okay.
Pancreas has a hard time working that shit through. So you can actually get some sort of like toxic, sick type shit that happens to you. Sepsis? I don't know. Pancreatitis, I think it's called.
Whoa.
Which I think I've had once because I was trying to like I was working with a nutritionist. This is like 2 years ago, right when I bought Tanya's car. And I had a hurt back, so I wasn't working out, but I was still trying to like keep the protein goals. And we had these, they're pre-made burgers, and it was 90-10, like fat, whatever it is. I don't know the scale on that shit, right? But you throw them in the microwave, and they're good. Not too much saturated fat. So I had, I think, 8 of them. So it was like 32 grams of protein per, and I had 8. And that night I took a ibuprofen for my back, and all the burgers and the ibuprofen, my pancreas was like on fire. I couldn't.
It's like I'm out.
I couldn't.
My head out.
I couldn't stand up all the way. It was bad. I was shaking and shit like that. And Tanya's like, I think you have pancreatitis. And I was trying to eat healthy. Go figure, right? But yeah, I could see. And also, maybe this guy's been played before, because if you're in the dating scene, who the fuck knows, man? There's time, obviously when you're married, you go, it'd be kind of cool to, go on a date again and feel nervous again, all that kind of shit. But then you see people that are going through the dating pool and you're like, fuck all of that.
I mean, Chris and I, we just sit around and start bullshitting, and it's something we'll talk about random as shit. I'm like, yeah, if you were to get in a car accident, I'm not getting married again.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not going through it. She's like, and again, to reiterate what we talked about in the first show, she's 13 years younger than me. She's about to turn 37 next weekend. This weekend coming up tomorrow, actually.
So in the past.
Yeah, we're speaking the future from the past.
The
it's weird. So tomorrow she turns 37 and she's like, I'm done. I don't want to do this.
Yeah, Tanya said the same thing.
I'm like, first off, I wouldn't know how. I mean, at some point, yes, my kids are going to be a little older. I ain't going to worry about them. I would go out to pretty much Vinny's a little more. Might go to sports bars and watch sports, but I ain't picking up chicks. I don't want anything to do with this shit.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I know friends that have been married, got divorced, and then said the same thing, and then they end up meeting someone and they're good, and it's all great. But man, I don't know if I could do it. Like the dating scene, can you imagine? Like all that stuff that you think about that would be fun, getting nervous, getting dressed up, picking her up for the first time, all that kind of shit, and then you got to go through all the motions again. Like, do you even know how to do the make the first move shit?
No, I wouldn't have a clue.
Yeah, especially nowadays. No, especially the girls we like to date, like, early 30s, late 20s. I'm not gonna go after an older chick. What are we talking about? It's almost like you got to go to the bullpen and call back somebody that you already know. That's probably the move.
And that is too, but who's to say they're still around?
And everyone's fucked up.
And everyone's fucked up.
Yeah. So
I couldn't do it. I
saw this
zero tolerance for that shit these days.
The first thing you do is you go, well, the guy's kind of a piece of shit, leaving her with that. But imagine if she's just
the girls rallied behind Equana.
Well, one of the things around here, most internet commenters were siding with the man. One writing, if you eat 48 oysters in a day, you're a walrus. Another said, I don't know if I ever ate 48 of anything, some Skittles. Others agreed that they would have left, but some said the date shouldn't have walked out on the bill. I agree with that. The manager says she was nice. I just hope she's not getting too much flack. That's it. I think that the guy handled it incorrectly. You probably want to voice your opinion. Like, hey, before you run up a $200 tab, let's figure out, what do you like? What are you into? This kind of stuff. To me, I think if the date was going well, the guy's not going to give a shit if it's $185 or $300 as long as he's not on fucking food stamps. You know what I mean?
If you are slapping back oysters in that amount and ordering crab cakes and mashed potatoes, you're too busy eating to be talking.
Good point. So I'm saying
50-50 on this, that he could have handled it better and said, hey, are we out to dinner now?
Yeah.
What happened to having some drinks and getting to know each other, or what here?
Yeah, I think he bailed on the date, not bailed on the fact that she ordered all the that's my sneaking suspicion, is that she was probably a shitty person to hang out with. So you just bail. Probably did it the wrong way.
And I don't want to be judgy.
What?
I don't want to be judgy.
Have you met you?
No idea who this guy is.
I have more hair on my head than you do, and you judge me nonstop.
Oh, that's right. Mine's more forward. Back of my head looks like the front of your head.
Yeah. And you call me bald all the time. Jarian makes fun of my head, and he looks like Clyde Drexler in 1989. I saw Jarian yesterday.
He looks like Shaq in Grown Ups too.
I saw him yesterday. I'm like, you look like Carlton and and Uncle Phil.
All together.
We actually there's this lady that was, she's probably mid 50s or something like that, out there hanging out. And, it was just me and Ortez for a little bit. And she's loosely commenting and stuff like that. No big deal. I think she was there by herself. So she's just trying to be around, like I do. You and I can go to a bar completely independent of each other and end up talking to people and shooting the shit. It's just, we have a gift, right? And
And
then
a curse, apparently, according to my wife, it's a curse.
yeah, and then some people will either love you or hate you, and that's just the way it is, right? After Jerian shows up, we start just going at each other. Like everyone is just being horrible to each other. And this lady goes, "This is it for me. I'm out." She actually got up and left.
Check, please.
She was like, "Fuck it. I cannot deal with this anymore." Look at this.
It's not sexy.
Belle of the ball. Yeah.
But I mean, going back to this whole thing,
Mhm.
I guess take me back before I met Krista and we got serious and we've been together. She knows, like 16 years or
We
whatever,
call that
15 years. So let's go back 20 years.
Sure.
I'm in my
Mid-40s.
early 30s,
Yeah.
30s, late 20s, early 30s. I'm single. There's the internet. There's online dating.
Do you
I
think?
don't know if I could do that. I just
Do you
don't.
think? Okay, let's say that all the technology that's available right now, and this is a hard thing for us to, like even pontificate about, but like, let's say all those things. I know, good word, right? Let's say all the things that are available now were available when we were single. Would you be on the dating apps? I still think that I would not be, and maybe that's just me being old and cunty and not, acquiescing to the times, I guess. But like, I know, nicotine,
Dude,
fucking gets you, dude.
you need to drink more.
Get you running, dude.
Gets the people going.
I used to be like, I'm only going to have these little nicotine things when I'm drinking because it kind of mentally levels you out a little bit. And then this week,
24 hours a day with you.
This week I'd be on like right before a call and be like, well, I'll just have one real quick. And then those calls were like fucking gangbusters. I was crushing them, and then, and then I'm like,
so you're addicted.
100%. 100%. And I don't really have an addictive personality.
Hey, I'll tell the jokes around here.
But I do have I do like how things make you feel. Like these also.
Oh shit. Hi, alcohol and drugs.
These things also give you a mini panic attack if you're completely like if you're just having coffee and you have one of these. You start to get the back sweat. Have you ever had like a real panic attack or no?
Yeah.
You start to feel everything come in and then you have to like talk yourself out of it. I kind of love that feeling. I kind of love it.
I don't.
Oh, well, I mean,
that's why before I had the MRI for my shoulder, I needed that
Valium.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I got too worked up about it and because they told me I was going into one, it wasn't opened.
So then mentally your whole plan goes off.
Yeah, because the first one I had, and they're like, "Are you claustrophobic?" I'm like, "Not really." And I didn't realize how
you mentioned it.
hyped those fucking things are. Like
MRIs are terrible.
Like when they put the needle into my hip groin area, I didn't look.
Right.
I don't mind getting blood drawn. I don't mind getting my shots, whatever. I don't want to look. I once I see the needle, I start to get a little sketchy.
Yeah.
And after that first MRI, they had to pump the fluid into my hip and groin area.
Okay.
And they put the thing the bandage and the with the gauze and shit on there.
Right.
And I looked over at the table. That fucking needle was over a foot long because of where it had to go in.
Yeah.
And how far it had to travel. And I'm like, thank God I didn't see you guys put that in because I would have fought both of you ladies. He's like, that's why we tell you to look at the ceiling and we talk about completely random stuff to get your mind off it.
Those damn tricks that they put you through too.
And then I got in that fucking tube and I was like, how did they get bigger people in these things?
Right.
I mean, it's not like my shoulders have problems getting through a door.
Right.
I mean, I'm 6'1". I'm overweight, but I'm not fucking fat, like London fat.
No.
And this thing, dude, my nose was like inches from the top and my shoulders are rubbing. Thankfully, my head stuck out the other end of it. I was like, okay, this isn't the worst fucking thing. It's loud as fuck. And they kept yelling at me to stay still. I'm like, you got to hurry this along. I mean, naturally, I just can't lay like this. So when I had my shoulder done, they're like, okay, the only one we're going to have available is closed. Are you claustrophobic? You put me in that clothes, motherfucker, we got problems.
Right. 100%. Yep.
And she's like, are you going to need something? I'm like, if you're putting me in a closed tube, yeah. I'm freaking out now, and it's already next week.
Did they give you the little panic button?
Yeah, I had the thing in my hand.
And you had headphones on or no?
Yes, yeah, because it's so fucking loud in there.
Yeah.
And the one for my shoulder, there was no music. It was down for the day. Something broke. First one I had in my hip was they had music, so I just put on local radio. But this last one, all of a sudden I get in there and I'm like, oh, it's open at the end? She's like, yeah, your head will be almost out of it. I'm like, okay.
Right.
Well, with my shoulder, they had to have me in it the whole fucking way, but I could see out, looking back over my head. So I didn't panic as much. I think it could have been the Valium. Who the fuck knows? First time I ever took Valium. I don't know. I was zen as fuck, though. I'll tell you that, man. I was on a fucking beach, staring up at blue skies, watching a seagull. There was fucking dolphins in the water. I was chill as fuck. Drugs are cool, man.
I just sent you a different mic.
Oh.
Be there.
Why, you don't like this one?
We're just going to, so then you can move it and yours sounds like someone moving a goddamn garbage can. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Got it.
Okay. Terrific.
Yeah.
It just needs a little WD-40. I think it's like 3 years old.
Sure. Yeah. I'm not a medical guy. I was thinking about going and getting a vasectomy.
Where the fuck are we? Where did we go wrong here? We were just talking about this chick fucking fleecing this dude. And now we're talking about us getting MRIs and drugs.
Well, because we were talking about being old.
Oh, we were talking about the dating
Yeah.
apps. And if this technology was available to us.
We can go back. Would you do it? So I don't think I would. I still think there's value into meeting someone and you kind of do the flirty thing. Maybe they're out, maybe they're not. Maybe you get their number and then you kind of go.
I got accused of flirting one day at a bar.
Really?
By my wife, who was there.
Well.
Because, again, we have that personality.
Sure.
That we can walk into a bar and take the place over within 2 hours or less. Easily.
Yeah.
I love referencing this. That night we were out in North Carolina.
Yep.
We went to that bar. We met those fucking stewardesses. I mean, they're older.
Yeah.
We hung all those bras all night and there wasn't one sexual thought going through our mind.
Never.
Those girls, they're older ladies, were funny as fuck. They were drinking. We were drinking. We are funny as fuck.
Yep.
We all had a good time. And the night, guess what?
Nothing.
They stood up. We stood up because we're gentlemen.
Yep.
Shook hands.
Yep.
And they left.
Yep.
And then we went over to the rooftop and then we peed off the bar, poured beer on people, golden shower. I don't know what we did.
Things were done. That's fine. Yeah. As you do. Yeah. I think,
Crystal yelled at me one night. She's like, "You were flirting with a girl." I'm like, absolutely not. I go, if by talking and making people laugh, that's flirting, I'm guilty as charged.
Yeah.
She's like, no. She goes, you could see that girl was ready to grab you and take you out of here. I'm like, well, I guess. I mean, I'm not that good looking, but fuck, my personality rules.
Well, here's the thing. Would anyone want somebody that doesn't have the ability to go do that? That's why women get really complacent. That's why most women end up divorcing their husbands because here's the model. I'll walk you through it. This is my theory. Women date you because you have this extrovert type of thing, right? And I'm more of an introvert, but then if I'm out, I have to force the issue because I don't want to be alone with my own thoughts, right? I know this about me. So they date you and then they go, it'd be more fun to date you if you were just a little bit more like this. And they're like the ocean eroding the sandcastle, okay? And then they see another sandcastle and they go, oh, now that guy. And then they don't like the husband anymore. They start to move over to the next sandcastle down the way. And then those girls get divorced. They go and marry the other guy. And then they complain that guy isn't an eroded sandcastle like the last guy. And guys are probably guilty of this shit too, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But most men don't want to go in and change the woman. Most men date the woman because they're the fucking woman. They're the woman that they are. The only time I've ever tried to get someone to change at all ever is I dated a girl and she smoked a little bit. She smoked cigarettes and stuff like that, which isn't the end of the world for me. It
it is for me.
Like it wasn't like in the movies in the 50s, they roll off each other and she sparked up a cigarette in bed. It was never like that. But like if we were out, she would go outside and have a cigarette and then come back in. And I didn't really care. But she also had like asthma and lung problems. And like we had to like deal with her having like,
what are you doing to help yourself here, lady?
So you need to stop smoking. That's the only time I ever like laid down the gauntlet on that kind of shit.
I broke up.
Really don't care.
I broke up with 2 girls because they smoked.
Yeah.
They said they quit and they lied to me. One girl's like, hey, TV.
Yep.
Is like, I quit smoking, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, hey, good for you. This is legit good for you. You're too young to be doing this shit.
Yeah.
And then one day we were at a party. She's like, oh, hey, grab my keys or something out of my purse in the living room at a huge party. I go in and grab the purse, open it up, look for the keys. You know, I don't give a fuck about snooping. I'm not going through girls' purses because I don't understand them. Open it up right there, pack of cigarettes. Okay, grab the keys, walk back, just kind of whatever. End of the night, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, if you're gonna do it, do it. Don't lie to me about it.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Guess what? About a week later, see you.
Yeah. You hit the bricks.
Yeah, I mean, and they're both well over 3-year relationships, and I dumped them and got pissed because they were smoking. I couldn't take it. But I chew gum before we kiss or whatever. No, it's still like making out with an ashtray. Ugh.
I do like there is something to be said, and this happened. Well, my kid plays football in the absolute legit ghetto. And so every other place, like every other schoolyard or whatever, there's like a tobacco-free zones and shit like that. Not the case here. So like people are just
telling me this,
sparking up. Like the assistant coach has a Black and Mild. He's smoking the entire time. It's fantastic, you know. But every once in a while, when you're outside and you have a bad nose, so maybe this doesn't hit with you.
Yeah,
you're outside in, let's say, an open air patio bar. First couple days of spring, it's nice and warm out. You're having beer. Maybe you're having beer out of a plastic cup, which always hits different. You're either having a great time or it's a total piece of shit, right? Beer, plastic cup, nice little breeze, and someone smoking a cigarette down the way. For some reason, I love that. For some reason, that's when I love smelling cigarette smoke. Now, if I walk into someone's house and they're smoking, or if we're in a car and they're smoking, I don't got time for that. I don't like it. But every once in a while, you catch a little hint of a cigarette, and I'm like, fuck, that smells awesome. And it just means you're having a great time. It's like married to the time. You know, people are out smoking, fucking having a fucking time. I love that shit. I love it.
don't care about it at all. Don't want it around.
And I grew up with like my dad ashtray next to the chair, fucking 30,000 cigarette butts in it. Like my dad smoked so much driving, like from Forestville to Moog, which is a hike, you know. The ashtray in his car was like jam packed with fucking butts, you know, and that was a lot, you know. But every once in a while, man, you just catch a little whiff of it, and you're like, fuck.
Remember those ashtrays when they built those? They didn't think far enough ahead about how they're going to empty them.
No, yeah, yeah.
So you basically had to get the vacuum out of your house and suck it out. But then actually, finally down the road, they're like, "Oh yeah, you just push this little tab and the whole thing slides out." And guess what you can do while you're driving? You can just dump it on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Pull up to a stop sign. There's 84 fucking cigarette butts everywhere. Where'd those all come from? What the fuck? And then it clicks. Oh yeah, assholes are dumping their ashtrays.
Yeah, that happened in the parking lot the other day. Like, and the kids, like, it's so funny how desensitized our kids are from seeing people smoke. When literally, like, remember in the bars in 1999, clouds of smoke.
But you'd go downtown.
Yeah.
I mean, if you walked out of a bar and went home without a cigarette burn in your clothes,
Yep.
that was a good night.
Yep.
When you came home, your clothes immediately you basically had to take them off outside.
100%.
You had to take a shower because dudes, yeah, your hair is a little shorter and whatnot, but girls, that smoke was stuck to your head.
Yep.
You laid down on your bed. It got transferred to your fucking pillowcase, your sheets. It was awful. The day they passed that law that up here in New York that barred all smoking indoors and within X amount of feet of the door was a fucking amazing. And all the smokers like, what the fuck? Dude, you have a disease. You have an addiction. It is disgusting.
I went through it twice. So they passed that in 2001 in New York. And then in 2005, they passed it in North Carolina. So it was so weird I lived in New York for 3-4 years after they passed that shit. And you used to go into any bar and you could almost wake up in the same clothes and meet your friends out for football at fucking 1:00 without showering and you don't smell like assholes. Right. But the second we got to North Carolina, the same kind of thing. You got to take all the clothes off. You got to throw those in the hamper. Everything smelled like fucking cigarette smoke. And it was so funny to see the same shit play out because in Buffalo, everyone's like, this is going to damage the bar industry. No one's everyone's flipping fucking shit. And literally nothing changed.
Not a fucking thing, Jay. The bars did exactly the same business.
Yep.
They adapted.
Yep.
Every bar basically has a little patio with a roof. And in wintertime, they can step outside. And I've seen people like Donna at Vinny's.
Mm-hmm.
I think she moved on to the vape thing now.
That's the other thing too.
But with the cigarettes, she's like, looks around, she checks everybody's beer, everybody's good. She looks at me, she's like, gives me the fucking bottle open. She goes, you're in charge. So she's gone usually to the bathroom, whatever. Somebody needs something, get them. I'm like, I know where everything is. And great. So she'd go outside, out the back of the kitchen, out the back door, in the patio back there, which was covered, take like 2 drags off a cigarette and throw it away. And she'd come right back in. I'm like, what the fuck? She's like, I just needed 2 drags. I'm like, but you threw away half a cigarette, and cigarettes aren't cheap, last I knew. Especially not now. They're not.
No.
They were. Now they're not. So I'm like,
a pack or some shit.
It's like me paying $7 for a fucking bottle of beer, taking 2 or 3 sips out of it, and asking for a new one. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing? I thankfully, and this is one good thing, and I've said this all along. Not a lot of people in my family smoked.
Right.
And if they did, I wasn't around them. And same with my friends. Not a lot of my friends smoked.
Yeah.
I never was around that thing, man. Yeah. I wouldn't know how to smoke a cigarette. If you had a gun to my head and a bag of $1 million, I could not properly smoke a cigarette.
I've never smoked
cigars. I love smoking cigars.
Sure.
I don't smoke nearly enough. I enjoy sitting around a fire in the summertime or on a nice, just warm day, cold day. I don't give a fuck. And having a cigar outside. It's great. Golfing. Fine. I'll sit there and smoke a cigar all fucking day.
Yep. Which we did not do when we golfed. Which I
those Cohibas are still in my fucking thing right now.
So annoyed. But yeah, I was around a lot of smokers. A lot. And I saw what it did to my dad. And you know, my mom will go, well, it also is from the Navy because he had mesothelioma. He didn't have the lung cancer you get from cigarette smoke, apparently. He got it from asbestos, which is why she gets paid by the Navy and shit. But at the same point, when you're a kid and right in the 80s, it was like smoking's bad. All the warnings on the cigarette stuff. So I would actually hide my dad cigarettes because I wanted my dad to live forever, you know? So I think I just had that thing embedded in me because I had friends that when I remember being in 5th grade, right before I moved from East Aurora, we're up by the Boys and Girls Club in East Aurora. There used to be like this convenience store kind of close to it. And behind that, that's where these kids would hide their cigarettes in 5th grade. And I was taller than these kids, so they would always hide their cigarette. They'd throw them up in this like little air conditioner alcove, and I was tall enough to go reach and get it for them. And then they all in 5th grade, they're sitting around smoking cigarettes. And they're like, "Do you want one?" I'm like, "Fuck no. I'm around that shit way too much. No fucking way. Am I going to be around fucking cigarette smoke?" 5th graders, dude. My daughter's in 4th grade. Can you imagine Olivia fucking lighting up some Newports? The ass kicking she would get is beyond measure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't do it. But every once in a while, man. And you know where I remember the first time it hit me. I was at right when they were trying to revitalize the pier or the waterfront area. Like I'm talking like maybe 2002, where like they would
early 2000s when they tried that shit.
they'd start to do some shit out there. They'd have like open air beer blasts and stuff like that to get people conditioned to even try to go to the waterfront because it used to be a pile of shit. And we were at this place. It was like kind of like a pop-up trailer, and they had bunch of beer on tap, plastic cups, and we're all hanging out, and some people were smoking, and I was like, oh, it smells good now. Because for the most of my life, it was just, oh, dad's smoking. I'm not gonna fucking go downstairs and watch TV. I'll just go upstairs and read a book or some shit. But every once in a while, I catch a whiff of it. I'm like, oh, maybe it's nostalgia, maybe it's whatever it is, right? But every once in a while it hits, and I'm like, oh man, it's gonna be a fucking day, and I don't know what it is.
My dad smoked Tiparillos, the little the plastic tipped thin cigars.
Yeah, okay.
When he drove Swisher Sweets, I think they were the Tiparillos.
I don't mind a Swisher Sweet.
He smoked them when he drove truck.
Yep.
Long distance. He was just around. He just smoked them. And then, he never had one at the house. He'd smoke them occasionally in the truck. And when me or my sister went with him on trips over the summer when we were out for school, he never smoked one in the truck around us.
Really? Good for him.
Well, here's the thing. Cigars don't have the nicotine in them. They're not addictive. You don't need one all the time.
Cigars have nicotine. Hold on. Hold the fuck up.
I'm not. I am nowhere near addicted to a cigar. I don't think they have nearly the nicotine that a cigarette has. But anyhow, the thing with those was the plastic tip was somewhat flavored. Because I remember I had one and I was like, ew, whoa, what the fuck's this? But my mom finally got sick of it after, I don't fucking 20 some years of him smoking. Said, you need to quit.
Really?
My dad smoked the last one in his pack because they came like in a 5-pack. It was the last time he ever had one. It's
not good for like blood pressure. Smoking in general. Smoking in general, you're lighting something on fire, and even cigars. Some of it's getting down to your lungs. Some of it is.
Yeah, because you don't inhale cigars.
Check this shit out. There's a big difference in the amount of nicotine in each. Cigars can have up to 100 to 200 milligrams of nicotine. Tell me, what's your guess for cigarettes? So 100 to 200 milligrams of nicotine. That's like milligrams is the benchmark. Okay. So
yeah. Okay.
What do you think cigarettes have?
1,500.
8 milligrams.
No way.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
Then why are cigarettes more addictive than cigars?
Because cigars there's not a lot of chemical additives that are put into it. So cigarettes have like asbestos in it, or not asbestos. They have formaldehyde. They have a bunch of other things inside of it. There's ammonia is baked into cigarettes as well. So it's not necessarily, and dude, nicotine is fucking great. But hold on. Nicotine isn't really bad for you. Nicotine is a nootropic. It makes your brain work. The chemicals inside of cigarettes are what make cigarettes more addicting. And nicotine doesn't hurt, but
so there's more nicotine and less chemicals in a cigar.
Yes.
In a cigarette, there's more chemicals and less nicotine.
Yep.
I don't know why I do not want to believe any of that, but I know you have your computer going and you're.
This is from pihhealth.org.
And I thought everybody's, I guess, is this one of the things where the government told you that nicotine was addictive?
Well, I
guess I always thought that. I mean,
I'm telling you right now, nicotine is addictive because I'm addicted to nicotine. Just like, but like caffeine is also a nootropic. So nicotine and caffeine are kind of the same thing. Like you have a fucking Red Bull, a sugar-free Red Bull, and you get a lot of the caffeine from it, and it's not the sugar rush. So there's a little bit of a difference there. But yeah, so another difference is how they're consumed. While cigarette smoke is inhaled into the lungs, cigar smoke is typically left in the mouth. Since cigarette smoke travels in the lungs, the absorption of nicotine into the bloodstream is much higher than cigars. But in general, cigars have almost, 200 times more nicotine inside of them?
No. If you're saying 8 into 100 or 200, that's not 200 times.
Well, no, because like 100 times more would be 16. Then you go to
Yeah, so 8 times.
24.
If you even said 50 times, that would be 400 milligrams. So 25 would be
25
200.
times. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not good at math.
I know. We discussed this.
I'm a
Yes.
fucking big
Yeah.
moron. I get it. Thanks, Dad. But yeah, but also like sucking it in. So I think you get a little bit more of a push. I've never smoked a cigarette ever, and I don't. Would I?
I've held them for people.
I have too, and you feel like a fucking phony, don't you?
Yeah, because I didn't know how to hold it. I'm like, and they're like, "Oh, can I bum a cigarette?" I'm like, I don't even know if I'm holding this right, but this isn't mine.
Yeah,
I don't smoke cigarettes.
I've never.
I'm like, it's my fucking friend's cigarette that didn't have a place to put it down when I had to pee. I don't know. I mean, I'm a friend. As much as I wanted to flick the fucking thing over a fence, I didn't because I knew cigarettes were expensive.
Right.
And it's an art form. The people that can get that point on the ashes.
Yep.
And then some of those guys can get it just to hang on their lip.
Yeah.
And then the ash is like this fucking long. I mean, that's the thing with cigars too. I don't know enough about smoking cigars, and I really don't want to get that versed in it where these guys have like, oh, I got a 2-inch long ash and this, that, and everything. Like, motherfucker, it tastes good. I don't mind smoking it. It lasts me an hour like the good Cuban ones do on the golf course. It's great.
I don't know that I've ever had a cigar all the way down to the wrap or to the foil or whatever it's called. What's the
wrapper?
Yeah. The wrapper, yeah.
The band.
I don't know if I've ever had a cigar that much. I mean, I told Tanya like a couple weeks ago, I was like, I think I'm gonna run to the store, grab a Cohiba. And during the podcast, I'm gonna smoke that. Cause like that it's downstairs. And also, like, if I'm being honest, upstairs the next day, it actually smells kind of good. Like tobacco smells great.
Chris has said that to me too a couple times out by the fire last summer. I would smoke a nicer cigar, and I always sit away.
Yeah.
Like I'd find out where the wind's coming from, and I'd sit on that side. So if the wind's, coming from the west, I'd sit on the far side so it would just blow away and it wasn't anybody's face. And I kept it whatever. But there's been times I've smoked a cheap cigar because that's what I had.
It smells like
and
shit.
She's like, it smells like shit.
Yep.
And then there's other nights she's like, wow. She goes, I'm not saying it smells good, but it doesn't smell bad. It doesn't stink. And I'm like, that's a better cigar and it's what you get. She's like, you should smoke those though. I'm like, well, you're gonna buy them because they're not fucking cheap.
You know what we need to do next time I'm up? Not this next time, but like
Christmas time. We got to do a podcast. Christmas
for sure. We should get a pipe. We should smoke pipes.
Okay. Today at Vinny's, Donna had like one of those butane fucking lighters. I have one for cigars.
I need to get one.
The torch.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yes. Hers was L-shaped, and she kept pressing the button. Drunk guy at the bar gave it to her. And I go, what the why is it weird?
Your lighter?
No,
fucking
I was
piece of
not
shit.
drunk today. She tried like hell, but I persevered.
Good for you. Nevertheless, he persisted.
It was L-shaped and a little kick at the end of it. And I said, what the fuck's that all about? She's like, the dude's like, oh, it's for a pipe. I'm like, crack pipe? What kind of pipe here? And it's just like a pipe. Yeah. So because I get it. If you're lighting a pipe,
it's
got to turn it.
Yeah.
And whatever. So if you're holding it and it's on an angle, it would shoot right down there. I've known people that smoke pipes. Is it like smoking a cigar?
I think so, because it's straight tobacco. It's not like a chemical infused fucking thing. You get that Prince Albert shit. Come on, man. Go on here.
I figured this out why my phone is not up to speed.
How did you talk and fart at the same time?
Dude, that when I come down here, I unplug the Wi-Fi extender. Normally it's 2 feet away from my phone. So I'm like, why is my phone running a little slow? It's trying to fucking go through 18 walls and catch the router up front while my computer's hardlined in. Hardlined.
So hard.
Pipe smoking.
Dude, a good like cherry pipe.
Okay.
Delicious.
Cigar smokers are at pipe smoking better than cigars is what came up.
Cool.
Cigar smokers are at a greater risk for oral cancers. Dude, shocking to me. Shocking. That's okay though. Facts are facts.
Okay.
Tobacco used in pipes is cured and contains nicotine and the same carcinogens as cigarettes. Pipe smokers are more likely to get cancer of the lungs, liver, head, and neck than non-smokers.
Huh. So nicotine has to be through the fucking roof then for pipes because you're actually breathing it in?
All right.
I see we try.
If we do that, we need smoking jackets.
Yeah.
Like fucking Hugh had.
And no shirts.
All right, fuck it. How to smoke a pipe like a gentleman. A complete beginner's guide.
Yes. We're finally gonna be gentlemen. We did it.
All right. How to smoke a pipe for tummies. How to smoke a pipe. Step 1, pack the bowl. Step 2, test draw. Step 3, light up. Step 4, puff, but don't necessarily inhale.
So it's still
Step
like
5,
cigar-ish.
pace your hell, clean out your pipe when you're finished. Okay, yep. I do remember these steps from seeing people. How often you puff a pipe? Your new pipe should be smoked only once or twice a day. Patients here will be paid with a cooler and drier smokes.
I say we bring it back. We're going to bring back pipes, dude. We're going to have...
Do not pack your tobacco too tightly.
Yeah, it's got to be like packing...
Pipes are meant to be smoked gently and slowly.
Oh, God, it sounds so sexual.
So I was actually talking about our new house, our next house and everything to Chris. And I said, I want not a panic room, but I would love a secret room where you like pull the book.
I know.
The door opens.
Yep.
And she goes, what do you want in there? I said, obviously I want my man cave in the basement with a big TV and, you know, your wall, maybe brick or a fucking painted mural and shit for podcasting and just general shenanigans or people come downstairs.
In about 3 hours of my time. That's it.
That took you a little longer than that. Anyhow, I digress. She goes, what do you want in there? I said, I would love it. A little room with like a 3-foot bar. I said, at this point in my life, I'm going to learn how to enjoy a whiskey, a scotch, or a bourbon. And I'm going to slowly step in, or maybe tequila, a sipping drink.
Yeah.
And I said, I want
oh, wait, you're supposed to sip bourbon?
Yeah. I'm like, and then I want like a comfortable chair, like a small 32-inch television.
Yep.
And I said, I want to be able to sit in there and smoke a cigar.
Yep.
And I want a like an exhaust fan built in.
Dude, especially if you have exposed basement beams like I do, I could actually run a fucking like a bathroom shit fan.
Yeah. Yeah. A little higher octane one that will
Yeah. Suck it out.
But then just where my chair is, the exhaust fan comes out of the ceiling, just sits right there. So as I sit there and smoke my cigar, watch hockey or football, have a sip of my tequila or whatever goes good.
Just go bourbon. Please go bourbon so we have more in common.
Back and just blow my smoke up and watch it just disappear.
I mean, I've smoked cigars down here, and I'm telling you, man, even if it does permeate up through the floors, it's like they make fucking like tobacco based candles, and they smell fucking great. They smell great. I'm a dude. What's more gay than me wearing a dress right now is my obsession with candles.
My wife sold out when we were in Canada 2 weeks ago. She bought a maple syrup scented Canadian candle.
Awesome. I support it.
What the fuck did you do?
I support it. I love a good candle. It's a problem. Like, dude, the day after Halloween, I will go to Walmart and I will buy 50 of like the fall scented candles that are marked down from like $12 to $2. And I just stockpile them. When I work, I light a candle. I have a candle going.
Chris has big candle person. Not huge, but they're going. I think she had one lit in a living room
That's why
tonight.
when you
Whatever. She's
do,
like, oh my god!
if you
I'm like,
were to die, she's not gonna like go find someone new. It's just gonna be me. It's fine. I'll
yeah,
take care of the kids.
whatever. But somewhere, and I remember she bought cases of candles. I have no idea where they are, but they just keep showing up.
They're great.
Everywhere.
I love a good, and I'm not. You know where I was at, where, and I know you're not a smell guy, obviously, because you're a piece of shit.
Suck a dick.
Again, I already won that bet. I was at the Biltmore. Do you know what the Biltmore is?
No, but it sounds like I should. I think you might have mentioned this before.
Dude, you would. We should all go and meet up in Asheville, North Carolina. It is fucking awesome there. There's also like fun things to do with the kids. There's like this thing called Sliding Rock, and you go up on the side of this creek and you sit down and the water kind of pushes you down.
And it's perfectly, it's like almost perfectly smooth.
Perfectly smooth. It's great.
Yes.
It's awesome.
Okay.
And water, it's like, and it's mountain water, so it's cold as fuck, but you have a great time. But what was I saying? Walk me through what I was saying.
Biltmore.
Biltmore. Yes, thank you. So the Biltmore, you know who like Vanderbilt was, right? Cornelius Vanderbilt. Okay. This dude, a little history for you. This dude works on boats when boats were the main mode of transportation up and down the rivers and stuff like that. This is the only way to get products to like the expanding, countryside, right? This is way before railroads. This guy works his way up, buys a boat. Then he buys another boat. Then he buys another boat. He's got a fleet of boats. And so he's basically a shipping magnate for products up and down the Mississippi River, right? And then when they start to expand the railroads, he takes a massive gamble, sells his ships, and he starts buying railroads. Okay. And he builds.
As you do in Monopoly.
He builds the biggest empire for railroads, right? And he has a kid. And now this guy is probably the wealthiest at the time, wealthiest guy in America, right? He is so rich that there was a bridge that he owned going into New York City, and for some reason a neighboring train company wasn't going to pay for something or was kind of being a dick. And so he blockaded his own bridge going in New York City so they couldn't use it. And they went bankrupt and he bought them too. He's a motherfucker, right?
Love this guy.
Stone cold motherfucker. So he has a couple kids. One kid is kind of like his fucking go-to, right? And that kid ends up dying, I believe. Okay. So all his fortune goes to this other kid that was only interested in, as all kids are now, because everyone's fucking soft. I like art and whatever. I love art. I love poems. I love fucking Broadway plays. I'm a closet homosexual. But this son had no dog in him. Your dad is a fucking straight up dog, right? Scraped, clawed, came from no education, would fight people for money, and he made some of the money that he used fighting people for money, bought his first fucking boat. Like that's where this guy came from. His son ends up inheriting, I think in today's dollar, let's call it $60 billion, right? And so he goes to North Carolina, sees this beautiful property, hires Olmsted, the Central Park guy, and the guy that did the park in Buffalo, right? Mm-hmm. Hires that guy to make the grounds and builds this fucking house. It's still today the largest residence that's family owned in America. And they had houses in Rhode Island as well, like same kind of style, but not nearly as big as this place. Where most of the country still didn't have electricity to their homes, this dude had an in-ground pool in his basement that had lights in it.
Motherfucker had the internet.
Yeah, he was bawling. But it's awesome. I mean, it's not an operable house anymore, but like you can still go and tour it and stuff like that. And just the majesty that this guy had. And he would pay people that worked at his place. He'd pay them the same wages that people made in New York City, in Asheville.
Oh, all right.
So he was philanthropic. Philanthropic.
Close.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was that.
Yep,
Hey,
I know.
he gets you.
Yeah, I just gotcha.
He was philanthropic in the way that he handled his shit, right? But that house, man, you go there, you walk through, and like around Christmas time, dude, they still bring in a Christmas tree. I think it's like 32 feet high or something like that. So there's like, it's the smallest, it's the second smallest Christmas tree in America. It only loses to Times Square. That's it.
Second smallest.
Sorry, second biggest. Fuck me, ass.
You ain't black.
But still, it's just how fucking amazingly ornate this place is fucking awesome. Anyways, around Christmas time, they go to the kitchen and they put this big ass like witch's cauldron thing over this open flame, and there's air ducts that go from this thing all the way up through the house, right? So, and maybe it was used for heat back in the day. I don't know the fucking ins and out of that.
I mean, that would be plausible, right?
Probably, yeah. But they put this cauldron in, and they put like cranberry juice, orange peels, and some other shit, like some fucking like pine tree type shit.
So potpourri.
And they boil it, and the entire house smells like fucking Christmas.
Potpourri.
And I'm like, this guy likes candles. He likes candles too. It's
Potpourri.
Yeah, but not
Just-
potpourri smells like your grandma's fucking pussy. Potpourri sucks.
It's basically what you just described. Same thing.
He was into
aromas.
It's everywhere.
Aromatherapy.
Every room. It's never too pungent in one room and not exist in the other. No matter where you go, the entire place smells fucking awesome. It's aromatherapy, dude. He invented it. Yeah. Look it up. Fucking awesome. You should go. Asheville is fucking awesome. They also have, and I know you and I are suckers for this shit, there's a bar in Asheville that is also the largest pinball, like old school pinball machine place. So it's like a pinball museum that you can drink at.
I am very admittedly bad at pinball.
I suck at it too. And
I enjoy playing one every once in a while. Like last time we were in Michigan, there's this real super shitty arcade. We walked past it when we went to the Blue Leprechaun. You gotta go downstairs.
That's why we go. You can't drink in there, right?
Yeah. There's no drinking. I mean, I wish it would. Yeah,
like, there's no beer,
but they have all the old school games in there.
Yeah,
and shit. And they got like old Kiss pinball and everything. And I was playing pinball the one night. Chris looks at me. She's like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "Dude, I don't mind playing pinball occasionally. I am not good at it.
No,
I'm not. I could never enter a pinball tournament. I would be out.
You're not a pinball wizard.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't read the angles very well. I just fucking smash flippers.
I like how they're built. Like it's almost like when you open up a clock, the way that they're built. Like the gears and the functionality and like how you get the lights to work. That had to be fucking mind blowing back in the day.
Yeah, in the weight of that pinball and how it just has to touch something and something else happens.
Yeah.
And you got to hit it in a perfect spot in a flipper to shoot it across the thing and then up the ramp just enough to get it up over the hump to run it down a little roller coaster rat trap thing.
One angle's off and nothing works. Yeah.
It hit something and ricochets right down the middle. You're click and both your flippers go up. That ball goes right down the fucking perfect middle every time. Fuck you. There's a magnet in there. I know there is.
You know what I played the other day? We were at this museum thing. I think I texted you when I was there. There's this place in St. Louis called the City Museum, and it's like an old industrial building that was probably in vast decline, pile of shit. And they bought it, and they started making all these like sculptures that you can climb up through the ceilings and stuff like that. So kids just go there, and they have the time of their fucking lives. Yep. And you're walking around trying to find your kids and stuff like that, and then there's these little hidden bars in this place. So you can sneak away. Your kids are having the time of their fucking lives, climbing up a real tree up from one floor to the other. There's I think a 5-story slide or a 10-story slide. When you get to the top, you can slide all the way down to the bottom floor. It's fucking awesome. The problem is everyone knows about it, so that's why it sucks because there's so many fucking people. But you be walking and you see like a little red sign, like, well, what's that? And it's a hidden bar. You go into these hidden bars, you can get fucking beer, you can get mixed drinks, and your kids are still having the time of their life. So you get banged up. It's fucking great.
We went to that Rochester Museum of Play.
It's probably the same type thing, right?
Yeah. But we went like during COVID and shit, so
Yeah.
it was a little weird. But Brady fucking loved it. It was 2-3 years ago, so he was 3 or 4 or whatever. He loved it. We couldn't get him out of the. They have a mini Wegmans in there.
Oh,
you
cool.
walk in, you get a little grocery cart, and you're able to go grocery shopping.
Owned or sponsored by Wegmans too, right?
Yeah, they probably throw some money at it, and then you got to go and you got to go up to the fucking checkout, and then the kid comes around and scans all his shit because there's a little barcode on everything.
Yep. Scans
all the thing, and obviously there's no money, and they're like, "Oh, cash or credit?" You just hit the fucking button. It prints out a fucking receipt.
Awesome.
You put everything back in the cart, and you push the cart, and there was a girl there back then spraying everything down.
Yeah.
And then they would put it all in this basket, and they would take it back and put it back on the shelves for the next kid. And Brady went through like 17 fucking times.
Yeah.
Couldn't get him out of there.
Yeah.
I'm like, we went to another section, and they had video games, like old school video games. I spent an hour there.
Yeah.
He was playing Centipede. He's like, this game's so cool. I'm like, I know, I kind of want one.
That's what.
Yeah, he was playing the video games. I mean, the same place, but there was no bar. Any hidden bars, it would be definitely really cool.
Dude, it's sick. I ended up, I didn't know that you had to pay extra to be in this area, but there was no like attendant at the place, so we just kind of like meandered in, and everyone's playing pinball, and they had a couple of video games. Some of them obviously out of order because they're from fucking 1984.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. But they had Q*bert. Oh, I don't know that I've ever played Q*bert.
I used to crush that game on Atari. Crush. I couldn't play it today.
I had no idea how to play it. Like I'm like, so you get to the bottom and you don't get, and then you go out.
You gotta change the color of everything, and then a little fucking
basically Pac-Man ish.
A little harder to control though.
It was.
I broke so many Atari controllers on that game.
So fun. I had a blast doing that.
See, that's like kind of when I want an old school console that I can play all the games on it. I want to be able to play Joust. I want to be able to play Rampage. I want to be able to play Q*bert. I want to be able to play Pac-Man, Centipede, Galaga, Space Invaders, and all that shit. But eventually someday I'd like that. Just those older games are so much better. I mean, everybody's like, oh, fucking Madden 24. Give me fucking Space Invaders any day.
Yeah. Yeah. Remember Kung Fu?
Yeah.
Great game. Great game.
I used to love that Rampage game that you got to pick between the gorilla.
I was always
Godzilla.
Godzilla.
And I forgot what the third one was, and all you had to do is like fucking jump on a building.
Donkey Kong, right? No, so there was so there's King Kong.
Yeah, King Kong, Godzilla, and
let's look this up.
Whatever, but then there was like people in the building, and you could reach in and eat them. And it would give you more power. Yeah. And then like the helicopters would try to shoot you down and you had to smash the fucking building in time. I loved that game.
There was, God damn it. The wolf.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there was, the big bad wolf. There was, there was a wolf.
I think it was always Godzilla. Always.
I don't think any of them had any more special power than the next one. You just played 3 people and just started smashing shit. And you could punch forward and eat the people.
The best.
And get more health.
Yeah.
And then the helicopters, if they got close enough, you could reach back and knock them out of the sky. Yeah.
It was awesome. Awesome.
Childhood.
I know. And now kids are just like, me fucking Roblox. Fucking.
I mean, Brady loves Miss Pac-Man. Chris bought me a little fucking mini one, and he'll play it every once in a while. We go to a store or a place that's got it. He loves playing it, but
dude, there's this thing you can buy on Amazon. It's basically like a Fire Stick, and it's built to work with PS2 controllers.
I don't know.
And it has like 30,000 games in it.
Yeah, I've seen shit like that
and
before.
It's like $80.
Yep.
It's worth just getting. Just even if you use it for like 4 days and it just sits there forever.
They got new ones out that that kind of mimic the Atari 2600.
Yeah.
And they're built a little better, and it's basically it's almost like a plug and play.
What's your like if you and we'll go after this. You have one video game, arcade game. To me, video games are like fucking Xbox and shit like that. You have arcade games on the box, right?
Yeah, consoles.
One arcade game to show your kids and be like, this was the fucking balls back in the day. Which one is that for you?
Pitfall.
Ooh, good call.
I was in the Atari magazine or Activision magazine for that.
You were?
Yeah, I got a picture of it at home.
Really?
Yeah,
For what?
fucking high score.
Really?
Yeah, we had a Polaroid picture and we sent it into them, and I made the magazine.
Have you ever seen the documentary called King of Kong?
No. I'll have to watch it.
Bro.
I was never good at Donkey Kong.
Me either. Hold on.
I thought I was, but I ended up not being very good at that game.
There's this guy that is a huge piece of shit. I'm going to look up the trailer. And we can watch that. All right.
Maybe check this out.
It's 2 minutes. This guy couldn't be more of a piece of shit. He is exactly who you would think of. Yeah, of course, this guy has the all-time high score. And all the nerds that are out there, I'm trying to hit share. Come on. There we go. All the nerds out there, like he is Jesus to these guys, right? So let's see. Tell me when you can see the screen.
Oh, wow. Liam Gallagher right at the top, of course.
Hell yeah, dude.
About this.
Full screen. King of Kong. And
Ready? Go!
this is one of the best documentaries of all time because the guy is an asshole.
You're dead, man.
I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs. I play video games.
It's the constant drive to be the best at something.
When you want your name written into history,
This guy.
you have to pay the price.
The fact of the matter is, Bill is the best classic arcade gamer of our era.
Music rules.
I've probably seen Steve with tears in his eyes more than any other guy I know.
Oh, he's just come up short in a lot of things in his life, and I just think nobody wants to do that all the time.
Who Breaking Bad was fucking based on.
No kidding, right?
Well, Donkey Kong, without question, is the hardest game.
That's a tough machine.
Yes.
People think that the machine is possessed.
The average Donkey Kong game doesn't last a minute. It's absolute brutality.
The mysterious player from the West Coast, Steve Weeb, is here.
He could beat it if he'd have to have a really good game.
This was the shit, dude. I remember seeing this.
You're competing against everybody in the world.
It's not even about
This guy is
Donkey Kong
Billy is
anymore.
standing on a thing he did in like the 80s.
Ends very well.
Well, Billy Mitchell always has a plan.
World Record Headquarters can I help you?
Maybe they'd like it if I lose. I gotta try losing sometime.
No matter what I say, it draws controversy. It's sort of like the abortion issue.
What a complete dick. That was the worst noise right there. We need that fucking Donkey Kong noise on the soundboard. Yeah.
I will definitely get it. Yeah, no. That is one of the greatest documentaries of fucking all
I'll
time.
have to check that shit out tomorrow.
Because like the guy is 100 like he is probably what Dwight Schrute is modeled after.
Okay, yeah.
And you think you'll catch like a side glance like, hey, like, I know this is a character or whatever. No, that is who that fucking guy is.
Yeah.
It
He
is,
believes it all day, every day.
and everybody around him believes it. It's a classic thing. Like, and he set a record in, I think in 1983, and people still suck his ball bag over it. And he wakes up every day and thinks he's the fucking balls. It is.
It probably says that on top of his mirror.
Probably,
Hey,
dude.
you're the balls.
And so he always wears when he's and he never competes anymore. He won't even touch a machine because he already set the record. So he's been resting on these laurels for fucking ever, right? And there's a quote in the movie. He's like, "Yeah, I mean, to me, there's only one call sign, and I bet you know what it is." And he looks down at his tie, and he has an American flag tie. His call sign is USA because you can only have 3 letters. So, and he thinks that this is like some profound fucking moment. Yeah. He's just a piece of shit that played Donkey Kong a lot. It's great. It is fucking awesome. Check it out.
I never mastered any of those. Pitfall, I got very, very, very good at, but I never mastered any of those games. I mean, I love playing Space Invaders and Galaga, Centipede, Qbert, I was all right at. And it's just, there were some of those games. Asteroid was fun. Missile Command
I loved. Centipede was super fun.
Space Centipede's super fucking annoying though. Yeah. But yeah, I enjoy playing those games, and I wouldn't mind getting. Like I said, there's a guy here in Buffalo area that fucking will build whatever you want. I'm like, I want a Miss Pac-Man fucking console board, fuck whatever they call it, outside the Miss Pac-Man thing. But I want like
games in it,
1,000 games in here from back in the day, and give me all the buttons that when I pick that game, I can use all the buttons to
Do you remember Dodgeball? Like
no,
there was a
Pong.
There's a place in the Ames Plaza in East Aurora that was like a little mom and pop diner, and they would do every Saturday and Sunday. They would do silver dollar pancakes for I think $2.75.
Your host,
yeah. So I would ride my bike down there and put $4 on the counter, get my breakfast, and then I'd have a little change left, and I go play this fucking dodgeball video game that they had. And it was like you have players on the outside, and then you have players on the other side of the thing. So you could pass the ball to your guys on the outside and hit the players. And they also had WWF wrestling as well. When Hogan would come out, like I am a real, they'd have like that in the Atari fucking like music, like. Probably one of the greatest intro songs of all time. But
one of my other favorite games was, I think it was called Tank.
Yeah, where you
had 2 tanks on a side of a wall, and you'd aim it, and it'd bounce off a wall, and it would hit the other tank, and part of it would disappear, and you'd have to shoot the other person's tank apart.
Tron was legit too. Like
Tron was tough.
Tron was great.
Yeah,
love Tron.
Man.
We can get out of here. You want to do one more? Or?
If that's up to you. We're an hour and a half on this one. I can do another hour.
Okay.
They go from the dome.
All right, well, hey, it is our second or third Halloween show. So you know what? Have fun. If we learned anything, if you're on a first date, don't order 48 oysters. Go 36. Be a gentleman. Other than that, make sure you spay and neuter your pets and keep on fucking that chicken.